Well, as Canadians, we spend the majority of the year in our coats and our boots and our scarves to keep warm, since it's winter for feels like 9 months out of the year. So to talk about fashionable outerwear is Lauren Weir joining me today for today's trending panel. So thank you once again for coming on. We always appreciate it. Yeah. So let's start with coats. Coats are obviously a major staple for Canadians in winter, and you say there's 3 coats that everyone kind of needs.
Yeah, so like you said, we wear our coats for a long time, so they become a pretty integral part of your wardrobe and your outfit. So first of all, I mean, it is about warmth. We need to stay warm in our -30 temperatures. So I would say the long, my first suggestion, the long black puffer coat. Length provides you just that much more warmth. So do something that goes to at least, you know, just above the knee. With the puffer coat, I would say still want to get one that's somewhat fitted, so you're not feeling like a marshmallow when you're wearing it. And also, I have one that has like a removable fur piece on the hood, so it's almost like I feel like I have 2 coats in one, and I can kind of change it up. So that would be one. Second one, I would say everybody needs a trench coat, and I would do that in a neutral color, so maybe a black, gray, a beige tan color. The thing I like about those is you can just throw it on with jeans and a boot, and you kind of feel like you've thrown together a nice outfit, or you can really dress it up, whether you're wearing it to work or a night out or an event of some kind. You can kind of do it that way. The trend we're seeing with those right now is kind of like a higher collar on them, one that you leave kind of popped up. And then I would say my third option is, if you have those 2 already, then you can kind of do a third option where either you add in a color or like a fun pattern, but you just have to be careful it's not going to be something that you're going to get sick of, because we tend to wear them for a long time, and ideally you're not investing in a coat every single year. So those would be my 3 kind of top picks.
Awesome. And would you recommend making an investment in a coat?
Absolutely. I mean, number one, you do need it to be warm. So expect to spend a little bit of money on it. And like I said, for me, I'm not going out and buying a new winter coat every year. That's just not realistic. So yeah, I'd say you're going to invest and hope that it lasts you for a while, for sure.
All right. So let's move on to footwear. I mean, some of the cuter things are maybe not so practical, but there are other options to keep your feet warm and going outside other than like a pair of Uggs, which maybe are not so trendy anymore. So what would you recommend for footwear?
Yeah, so I think actually right now we're kind of lucky that if you're going for a more casual look, the old like Sorel boots have made a comeback. The only thing that they've really changed is they're more of like an ankle cut on them now, but they're super warm. They are expensive though. You're probably going to spend $150 on them minimum. That being said, this is embarrassing, but I still have my Sorels from when I was in grade 6.
Wow.
Which means, number one, my feet haven't grown for a long time, but number 2, that's a good quality brand. I mean, I only wear them for like, you know, skidooing or whatever now, but they're a great brand. If you can find a Sorel, Wind River, Sport Check, Mark's Work Warehouse, they all carry a great line of those.
So these are definitely the things to invest in. And lastly, you can always accessorize your outerwear with a scarf, but really we're seeing a lot of hats right now. So what would you recommend?
Yeah, I just think the toque right now, you're kind of seeing like the looser fitting slouchy toque. Sorry, people like to call it a beanie. I still call it a toque because I'm Canadian. But the nice thing is, change it up, try a different color, and you can pair those now with like your trench coat. So even if you're dressed up, you can still throw a toque on, try different colors, and play around with it that way.
Yeah, and you can always do the pom-pom. That's still in?
Oh yeah, that's big. Yeah, every year. And some of them have a pom-pom that you can remove and put back on. So same idea, kind of a 2-in-1.
Wow, now that is a hat I need. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your advice for outerwear. Lauren Weir has a blog or Instagram if you would like to follow her and all her tips. She's always posting on there at @thestyle_gap. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing all these tips with us.
Yeah, thanks again.